DJ Academics and Vlad react to what G Herbo said about them. G Herbo called them out, saying that since they profited so much from Chicago hip hop and Chicago culture and Chicago violence, that they should tag team together and donate $100,000 to a Chicago-based charity, in which I made a video also about that, saying that they should give that money to an organization that I currently work for that's called Circles and Ciphers, that works with formerly incarcerated youth in the Chicagoland area. So this is both of their response. I already heard some of Academics' response already, but it's going to be interesting seeing it again now with Vlad to just see what their take is on this. So let's jump right into it.
G Herbo wants you to sell the Richard Millie and donate some money to Chicago because, according to him, our platforms, and we built our platforms off of Chicago. I think most of that maybe was aimed at me, but it was kind of, they lumped us both together saying we should both just donate money, which, by the way, I have donated money to organizations from Chicago before, but this is like a new iteration of call to action saying basically we need to give back to Chicago because we profited off of them. Thoughts?
Well, I kind of think it was really more the bozo who was doing the interview. Right? What was his name?
I don't know his name.
Like Friedman or some motherfucker. It's like one of these like
he wanted a
geeky-ass Jewish
thing.
kid that probably got beat up, you know, and finally has a little bit of a voice and is trying to be tough because he actually called you a bitch on Twitter or stuff like that.
Well, of course
he called you a bitch in the interview too.
Well, yeah, he's trying to engage with me. I wouldn't. We already got the dossier on him. We got him doing blackface, all type of stuff. I just don't want to. Yeah, we just don't want to engage.
What?
I got the pictures.
Blackface?
Come on.
Yo, show me the picture. Show me. I want to see this shit.
Vlad, let me tell you.
Fuck that guy. Because you know something? I said, hey, man, I heard you want to debate. Hit me up. I said, I'll do it on your platform or mine. Let's go.
Vlad.
He didn't even respond. Show me the blackface.
This is him.
Okay.
And scroll over.
No.
Come on now.
Look at this.
Yo, listen, we keep the files.
Look at this. Look at this.
We keep the files on them.
Look at this.
You know? So like,
well, you're a racist. Now, fuck you.
So really, I could have I could have dropped that at any time. But again,
we just dropped it, right?
Well, here's the thing.
No fuzz it out.
No, hell no.
No fuzz it out. We want to see this.
He's
Herb, why are you even interviewing with this dude? This dude is a racist.
He's desperate to try to get a back and forth to be relevant.
Right.
And he was probably looking for salacious talking points, and that's probably one that Herb bit on, because maybe the other things he wanted Herb to like. To be honest, I've sat with Herb. I sat with Herb. I sat with Herb. We turned this big TV on. Yeah. And because he had said some tweets before about Chicago and me, and we went through them. I said, no, we're going to go off what you said. We're going to actually factually speak about this. And at the end of the interview, he pretty much backed down from everything he was saying. So like here, years later, I was like, you got baited into the conversation. Yeah. And I understand. Yeah. But also, like, you know, I don't know how you feel, but I'm not in the apologetic mode anymore because I spent years. I always told people I could have done the war in Chirac better. I said, you know, I've done this media thing now for 15 years. With my experience at this point, I would have done it very differently. I would have had a lot more empathy. I wouldn't did it satirically, and I would have given a lot more different POVs with understanding the victims and the people who are being affected. Right. 100%, right? With that, I try to bridge discussions. I've tried to give back. But here's the thing, you know what I realize? You can never do enough. It's like, it's one of those things where it's like, you know, when we'll always kick you back in when it's convenient, and also we're going to rewrite the narrative, which is just not true. I didn't build my career off Chicago. It was one of the things I did.
Yeah, I did not build my career off Chicago. I mean, look, me and Herb's people are talking right now.
Oh, you got to get him on there.
Yeah, so we're talking about doing an interview, and we were actually supposed to talk today, but he was like on flights and so forth. So we're talking about actually, you know, but we're in active talks to actually do something. Because look, the thing that everyone expects from us is like, well, what about what you do? Or what about?
Oh, no, I definitely did that.
Yeah, you did that.
I definitely said you can't rob innocent grandmas. Y'all stole their credit cards, ran up a $1.5 million tab, went on vacation, bought designer puppies, $40,000 puppies. You and your whole crew, y'all got indicted by the DOJ. Y'all got indicted for fraud and scamming innocent people. You paid back, or you were ordered to pay back $140,000. Well, if we're talking about giving back, you're talking about giving back because you feel we should be charitable. Good. I think everybody in hip hop should be charitable. Yeah. You should give back what you stole. I'm sorry. That's not even charitable. That's just actually giving back what you have taken illegally. So, obviously, I don't think it's like that with her, but I'm glad you guys got to do something.
I mean, look, like the obvious thing is to say, well, what about your lyrics? What about you calling, you saying GDK, which is Gangster Disciple Killer? Like that's the obvious thing, but really, I feel like Herb really got baited into that conversation. True. It's not like he just came on board and said, yo, let me tell you about Vlad and Ak. Fuck them, blah, blah, blah. No, it's like he got baited into it. The guy's like, oh, because he's a bitch. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, you could tell, like, Herb was sort of going along with the energy of the dude with the...
It's so funny that Vlad understands that interviewers can bait their guests into certain... by asking them certain questions that can lead into them responding with controversial takes. This is interesting that Vlad can acknowledge that other interviewers do that. So if he acknowledges that that's a thing that interviewers do, I wonder if he acknowledges when he does it.
The blackface. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And but I think for me, when I heard it, and because I know people that know him, and like I've interviewed him when he was Lil Herb, multiple interviews. You can look at my YouTube channel. It's all there.
You've interviewed Bibby too.
Bibby's my man. We're talking about doing another one. We keep in contact. Yeah. Like I helped Bibby make millions of dollars by showing him how the stock thing works, and he went on and did great with it. Like so, me and Bibby, Bibby's done my platform multiple times. Like I rock with all these dudes. So I think like, instead of saying you have to do something, I have to do something, why don't we just do something together?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Why don't all of us? Because none of us totally have our hands clean in this. All of us have done certain things that ultimately, have had negative influences, negative repercussions that we can help out.
I love what you just said, but I hate it when rappers never take responsibility. They'll use this, oh, well, it was my life. And I'm like, listen, if you've made a lyric about promoting violence.
At the end of the day, all of us have done things that have unintentionally had negative effects.
Yeah.
Right? Whether it's reporting on a certain story or whether it's doing a certain lyric and saying certain things. So at the end of the day, none of us could say, look, I did nothing. I'm totally clean. Look, like the whole BTB Savage thing, I still feel bad about my role in that. I interviewed him. He told me about a home invasion and so forth. I didn't think he was going to do a picture next to a pool of blood, showing off his jewelry. But ultimately, that ended in the worst possible way. Like those guys kept, whoever he had beef with and whoever the friends of the dude that he killed in self-defense obviously kept getting madder and madder and madder and madder until they took it out in terms of his murder. So instead of us just pointing the fingers at each other and say, it's your fault, it's your fault, it's your fault, why don't we actually come together and do something cool? Why don't we, how about this? Instead of saying you need to donate, how about we donate?
Yes.
How about all three of us donate? We each throw in a certain amount of money and we all donate. Maybe we even do an event in Chicago.
I agree. And I'm telling you, I've ran into this issue so many times with rappers. Rappers don't take accountability. For example, it's easy to say, you weren't from Chicago, so you doing this, you're worse. But they never say, well, my lyrics encouraged a young kid in Chicago who looked at me like I'm him. And when I said this is how I got down, he picked up a gun and may have went and did something. It's very hard to take accountability. And this is why I stopped having those conversations where I felt like I was damn near apologizing, because accountability only started and stopped with me. I was always down to say, hey, listen, I if I could do the war in Chirac again, I would do it better. I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't do that.
You probably wouldn't call it that.
Yeah, right. Never have I ever heard a rapper saying, yeah, I wouldn't clown him for dying. I wouldn't make this song. I wouldn't, because again, for them,
That's false. Rappers say that all the time. There's numerous rappers that claim or that say that earlier in their career when they were doing all that dissing dead people, that when they got older and they realized how intense that is and how dark that is, they made a conscious decision to stop doing that. It's a lot of artists who have said that. You can look it up, especially Chicago artists.
They use the scapegoat of, well, I grew up in that environment. That's my life. But oftentimes these are millionaires that have left Chicago.
Yeah.
Like Lil Durk was living in Atlanta.
Right.
He's living in Atlanta.
Yeah, Herbo lives in L.A.
Lil Durk was living in Atlanta, making songs about the death of someone who died downtown Chicago.
Yeah.
FBG Duck. Again, I love Lil Durk too. And the thing is, like,
Doug was still living in Chicago, though, which is something I tried to change during my interviews. And that's the thing where
Yeah, you always fucking say that, but you don't understand the type of situations and things that these artists got to deal with. Yes, that's the easiest thing that you can say. Oh, move out of Chicago. But if you're not gonna actually do anything to help, if you're not gonna be like, hey, I got a spot that you can move at right now. If you're not gonna actually do nothing, I mean, do something, then your words it's okay. It's cool that you have this opinion, but I need help, and a lot of artists, they need help. They can't just get up and leave everything. A lot of people have interesting perspectives, and they look at how rappers live and what they talk about, and they think that these guys are like unstoppable and they're rich and they're the richest ever. It's not that. It's not like that. Some of these artists actually need some assistance in getting out of Chicago and going to another city and starting over and all these things. And if people like you all are gonna profit from their stories and their negative moments of their lives and negative situations that haunt them forever, if you guys are gonna profit off of that, maybe you can do more than just talk to them and fucking lecture them and actually help them in their pursuit of maybe getting them out, or I don't know. There's more that you guys can be doing is basically the point that Herb is making.
You have that blackface dude, who's sitting there trying to poke the bear, who you could tell doesn't really know who I am. He may have seen a clip or two. It's like, if you look at my interviews, you really haven't, heard me say, hey, you got beef with this dude. You want to talk some more shit about him? Let's escalate it. Really, it's like, you could look at like Fulio and Young and Ace, my interviews. But all the interviews are like, can y'all work it out? I know both of y'all. Like, can y'all do something? Can one of you guys move away maybe and just get out of this environment? Can you do this? I've tried to get people on the phone together. I've tried to de-escalate things.
Vlad,
I've consistently tried that. It doesn't always work, but sometimes it does.
Vlad, you can't negotiate with terrorists and you can't negotiate with ignorant rappers. Here's the thing. You're trying to give context to how you do interviews, your style, and how you don't believe your fan, the Flames. They're always going to say something. They're going to be like, well, you asked him this that got him locked up. Like, they're always going to ask. They're going to move the goalpost, because here's the thing. And, it took me a long time to learn this. When someone doesn't like you,
they just don't like you.
You just got to go die for them to be like, oh, okay, fine.
Even then,
it'd be like, all right, finally this piece of shit's out of here. You can't appease these people.
Listen. Me and Boosie about to do another interview, and I'm going to bring this up. I said, look, during my era, people dissed each other. Like Ice Cube kind of raised the bar. We didn't know Vaseline, right? That was like a really harsh diss record where he's talking about basically someone butt fucking someone else, like Eazy's butt fucking the rest of y'all and taking all your money, right? That was ooh, wow. And then Tupac raised the bar. That's why I fucked your bitch. Like, oh shit. Die slow. I fucked your bitch. I want you to die. The bar has been raised. Then Chicago raised it. Now you're talking about smoking on your dead enemies, right? That was, once again, the bar has been raised or lowered, however you want to look at it. So then the Fulios of the world come in. Now you're talking about your dead enemies and you're doing videos in a graveyard holding up the pictures of your dead enemies, and some of these are kids. Some of these are like 14, 15 years old.
Tuka was a 14-year-old kid. Vlad, we're being way too nice. Right, but we're being way too nice.
Okay,
trust.
So I'm saying, like, you're having this. They keep raising the bar to more and more ignorance. I told Boosie, I said the next thing's gonna happen is somebody's gonna dig up one of their enemies and make a music video with them. And you know what happened recently? Someone blew up someone's grave. Someone blew up a grave, and everyone was. My DMs were flooded. Yo, you predicted this, Vlad. Yo, the Boosie interview, you predicted this. You predicted this, and I'm not surprised. Someone actually blew up, put dynamite in someone's grave, and blew up the damn casket underground. Like, it's insane.
They try to vandalize Pop Smoke's gravesite multiple times.
Yeah.
I'll say this, and this is what I'm saying. Like, sometimes we're trying to have these logical conversations with people who they're illogical.
Yeah.
Like, for example, so this conversation was also piggybacked by another conversation by someone else, another guy from Chicago. His name is Prince Dre. He said Akademiks is actually, he's responsible for a couple of these guys dying. To me, that's just so non-worthy of a actual educated, empathy-filled discussion, because here's the thing. His best friend was King Von. This is King Von's best friend. Yeah. The guy who's accused of killing 7 people is telling me,
the serial killer,
the guy who never shot nobody, that I'm responsible for murders. Now, one time would he say, hey, listen, King Von was accused of killing K.I., and he taunted her after death. He did an interview with me about FBG Duck, who, by the way, he would have been indicted for as for a murder for hire. And he taunted and laughed while I brought it up. These are things that's when I realized I'm like, I can't have a real conversation with you, because you're looking at me worse than the guy who's your best friend that killed the people. So at that point, what are we talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I interviewed, was it O-Block Louie? Who got shot along with King Von.
And he passed away, didn't he?
Passed away. I mean, he didn't get killed, but he passed away, I guess, probably from the brain injuries or maybe drugs. I'm not quite sure. I interviewed Lil Tim. And I'm sure, I remember my man was like, yo, man, let's go to Chicago, come out there, I'll take you to O-Block. I'm like, you're not taking me to O-Block? You crazy? I interviewed Lil Tim. You think, and Quando Rondo.
Hey, I'm
not going to O-Block. I might get hit by a sniper. Like, I'm cool.
I just wish there was a little bit more shared responsibility. Again, there's out of very fucked up situations.
You, Vlad, acknowledging the fact that you can't go back to O-Block proves that you're doing something wrong. Because if you weren't doing anything wrong, you shouldn't feel like that about going back to Chicago to O-Block. It's just something to think about.
Come these amazing stories of rappers who made it. It's basically the flower that rose beyond the concrete, right? And even though sometimes their reality or what they're rapping about might not be the most positive, and it might be negative or even promoting violence, we usually want to see the turn and the maturity at some point where they're helping their community and helping other people like them show a different way, right? Picked up a mic instead of a gun, right? And every rapper who's ever made gangster rap should always understand that at one point you were the problem. You were the problem. Well, you were the biggest problem.
If they actually were legitimately a gangster before.
No, if for example, let's say Meek Mill, if you rapped and promoted that this is how a young black teen should operate, you should be selling drugs, doing this, don't do that, because that's what, when somebody's, always, again, and this might be a stretch, so I want to, give a disclaimer. I don't think TK was directly influenced by drill music.
Yeah, I interviewed the girl.
Did Chief Keef kill anyone? We don't know. But did TK think that murder was something that you could just do and just move on with life? And he subsequently killed 2 people, and then he's now locked up.
Possibly 3.
Yeah. And he's doing 55 years. So that's the point. It doesn't matter if you were
55 plus the 35.
Exactly.
I don't think they're running concurrently.
Yeah, they cooked him. And again,
it's a wrap. And I interviewed the girl in the middle of all that. And I got another interview coming out around with one of the people involved in that.
Really?
Yeah.
The girl told on him, right?
Well,
She did. She cooperated.
she cooperated, but they essentially had the whole story. Anyways, one of the victims survived.
Well, you have to realize. So it's like at this point,
It's a little fuzzy because she actually ended up getting convicted and then got appealed.
cases like that collapse on each other, right? So it's like, hey, whether it's like the Gunna thing, right? Now, Gunna is a little bit different because not everyone took a plea. But if they charge 6 people with a crime, you were the driver, that guy got the gun, that guy over there, he knew the person in the house, he got access, and there was a murder that got committed, and everybody basically plea out. They don't need everybody to testify. It's just basically like a jury's gonna say, if everybody's admitting some guilt, how the hell, unless you just have some crazy exculpatory evidence, like, no, I could have done it that day because I was fucking my bitch over there on the west side, and I was nowhere close. You're gonna be guilty. So again, I really felt like the people he was with, they knew that, like, listen, we want to have a shot to come out of jail. I think he was looking at it like 20 years, 30 years, looks pretty steep.
TK?
Yeah, I think he was looking at it like that. It looks pretty steep. I'm a rapper, and I've seen rappers beat murder cases. We have seen rappers beat murder cases, right? And
Which rappers have beat murder cases? Well, Gucci.
I mean, didn't Snoop have one?
Well, okay, so Gucci Mane, that was a home
Gucci,
invasion.
didn't
That makes
Gucci
perfect
beat a murder
sense.
case, nigga?
Yeah.
Right, who
Bet your
else?
man's Vlad.
Didn't Snoop have one?
Self-defense.
Well, again, that's why you would beat it. You're not gonna legit beat a murder case. But hold on, but even
Good,
then,
if you don't have enough evidence. But I'm saying, like, okay, so
But even then,
Gucci
King Von-
Mane, home invasion. The Snoop situation, I interviewed the bodyguard. Like, I know these stories intimately. There was a guy that approached them that was threatening him or whatever else, had a gun on him, whatever else. They pulled out first, they killed him. It was a hostile situation where someone else was approaching them,
Okay.
right? A robbery like TK did 2 times, you're not beating that.
King Von beat murders.
Is this true?
Whether you want to say it
That's
took it to the jury, but the reason why King Von's career was allowed to happen is that there wasn't people cooperating. And a lot of the witnesses died. Like, you know, he has a lyric where it'd be like, yo, just don't be witnessing shit. You know what I mean? And so it's like, hey, it is what it is. But
King Von legitimately beat a murder. See, you can't say, so for example, Hurricane Chris, once again, self-defense.
no, I agree.
See,
People
like,
ain't really
you
beating
can't look at the
murders.
self-defense ones and say he beat a murder. It was self-defense.
But-
I would have done the same thing. If you put me in that position, I would have done exactly what these guys have done.
But when you hear they talk about it, they're going to act like it's a bot.
Beating a murder is when you're charged with a body and then you beat it. It doesn't matter if you plead in self-defense, if you're saying it's self-defense or not. If you're charged with a body and you beat it, then you just beat a body.
Like,
Well, Gucci.
yeah, they're gonna claim it like, yo, that's a
Gucci
body,
did,
you know?
But Hurricane Chris.
Well, Hurricane Chris is a different part of his life. If he was popular as a rapper, he's, yo, you heard what's the name said? Murder was the case that they gave me. It was like, oh shit, all right.
Yeah, but he was doing that while he was still fighting the murder, which
True.
is a little crazy.
Yes.
A little crazy.
But
I think he beat the murder afterwards.
But the point what I was trying to say is that you don't necessarily have to be doing some of these acts that you're talking about to be influencing the kids in a certain way. Let's think about Future. Juice WRLD literally died off of overdose, and he literally said, yo, Future is the one who got me on drugs. Future came out later and says, I don't do half the drugs like I be saying I do it. Too
Half,
late.
though.
Too late.
I do the other half, though.
Yeah, he did. So
There y'all have it, man. DJ Akademiks and Vlad responded to G Herbo calling them out, saying that they should donate $100,000 to a Chicago nonprofit organization, just like Circles and Ciphers, in which I work for, restorative justice organization that works with formerly incarcerated youth in the Chicagoland area. That was an interesting interview, you know, just hearing their perspective. I mean, I do feel like us as black people should take more accountability for our actions, because people who don't take accountability, they don't grow. Taking accountability is going to directly help you grow and become a better person. And me personally, I feel like one of the reasons why us as black people, why we're so stagnant, is because we always point fingers at everybody else. And don't get me wrong, slavery was fucked up. White people mass incarceration, they still trying to hang us till this day. These are all things that's definitely happening. Like, this is real shit that we've been fighting for years. I'm not taking away from that. But what I'm saying is that at some point we need to put that to the side. Don't forget about it. Just put it to the side for a moment and focus on us here, and focus on, okay, what are some things that we can do as a people to improve? What are some things that's in our control that we can implement into our communities to actually raise the vibration of our people, of our communities, and not always be so quick to point the finger at the white man? Like, yes, of course, the white man is shitting on us right now, but let's just put that to the side for now and focus on us. All right, when are we gonna do that? And that's the day that I'm waiting for. But at the same time, Vlad and Akademiks, y'all need to realize that the role that you guys play in the media literally controls our fucking mind. They literally control our mind through media. They can control our actions, what we think about, how we plan for our future. Everything is influenced by what we consume, the media. So you have to understand that if there's a war that's going on in Chicago, in the trenches of Chicago, and it's this gang versus that gang, and if you Akademiks make a story about it and you're shining light on this thing and you're making it so that it's on a bigger platform for people all over the world to consume, you do realize that the people that you're talking about are watching that. And if you, for example, if you're saying that this gang right here is laying the belt on this gang, the gang that's not being shown in the good light, in the most positive light, or the most the ones who are seen as the victims, they're gonna look at that and they're gonna get mad and they're gonna want to do something about it, and they're gonna want to retaliate ASAP. So you do have to acknowledge that some of those videos, when people see them, that's in certain gangs, and if you're talking bad about certain gang, like, oh, like this nigga just came here, and killed these niggas, you do realize that those victims and those people that you're showing in a not so positive light are gonna retaliate because they were motivated by that video that you made. I could see somebody like, oh man, we ain't no fucking bitches. This nigga Akademiks just made a video on us, talk about some the ops came through and just laid belt on us. Oh hell no, we finna slide right now. Phone them grave, we finna slide right now. On phone them, like, I can see niggas doing that. I can see niggas literally doing that because they don't want to seem like they the victim. They don't want to seem like they some bitch ass niggas. So it's gonna make them get tough and overly tough and trying to do shit that they shouldn't be doing. Like, trying to retaliate, trying to spin on somebody else's block. So I feel like that's where y'all played the part in that specifically. It's not, you're right, it's not exactly your fault. It's not all on you, but y'all definitely played a part in that specifically. And that's something that I witnessed and I can say for myself. Okay? So that's what it is, man. Make sure that y'all like this video. Comment on this video. How do y'all feel about the situation? Do y'all agree with Vlad and Akademiks? Do y'all don't agree? Do you all agree with G Herbo? I want to know. I'm curious. Make sure that you guys subscribe to my channel. Click that false notification bell. We got more shit in store. More reactions, more videos, more music, more vlogs. We got everything, baby. Y'all know how the fuck we coming, man. Until next time. Sweet! Appreciate y'all, man. Stay safe out there. Love, y'all. Love. I'm fun now. Take care, y'all.